So we start a new unit today on classifying triangles and triangle congruence, and the first section is on classifying them. Most of this should be review, so let's just get to it. Let's just remember that the definition of a triangle is a polygon with 3 sides. An acute triangle is a triangle with 3 acute angles. There are 2 ways to classify triangles. One is by sides and one is by angles. And right now we're looking at classifying by angles. In a minute we will look at classifying by sides. Equiangular means 3 congruent acute angles. A right angle is a triangle with 1 right angle, and an obtuse triangle is a triangle with 1 obtuse angle. So when I classify a triangle, the first thing I will do is classify it by angles. Next will be sides. I would draw these. Those are 3 acute angles, but if I don't mark them, not necessarily congruent. In an equiangular, all 3 are congruent. And I think if you've figured it out, that means all 3 have to be 60 degrees. A triangle with 1 right angle, and a triangle with an obtuse angle. With the obtuse angle being right here. So now let's classify by sides. An equilateral triangle is a triangle with 3 congruent sides. An isosceles triangle is a triangle with 2 congruent sides. And last, a scalene is a triangle with no congruent sides. They would be drawn and labeled like this. An equilateral, congruent, congruent, congruent. Isosceles, congruent. Scalene, no congruent sides. Let's talk about classifying these triangles. We have 3 triangles here. Let's see if you can find them first. I have triangle ABD. I have triangle, can't write tonight, BCD. I also have triangle ADC. So don't forget about this third triangle, the big one. I have the small one and the small one, but together they make a big one. So if we were to look at this angle, this triangle right here, I see it's a right triangle. Okay, so I can say that ABD is a right triangle. But if inside a triangle has to add up to 180, then that corner has to be 20. I also see that this is a right angle because I have a linear pair right here. They have to add up to 180, so if one is 90, the other is 90, which means what's left up here is 5, because 90 and 85 and 5 gives me 180. So, triangle BCD, this guy right here, also has a right angle, and these are acute, so 1 right angle means this is a right triangle. And if we now look at the big one, ADC, we have 70 in this corner, we have 25 in this corner, we have an 85 here. They are all less than 90 degrees, so triangle ADC would have to be an acute triangle. Triangle ABF is an isosceles triangle. The vertex angle is B. What does that mean? If this is the vertex angle, it means that it's the top of the triangle, which means this side and this side are congruent. In an isosceles triangle, it also would mean that this angle and this angle are congruent. let's look at one more problem. So AB is 17x minus 10, FB is negative 3x plus 70, and AF is 10x plus 15. I want to find AF. Well, I can't really find AF yet because I don't have any idea what x is. I do know that AB and FB are equal each other. So AB and FB equal each other. And I'm going to solve this. I'm going to add 3x to this side. And I'm going to add 10 to the other side. And I'm going to divide by 20. Now if I want to know what AB is, or AF, sorry, AF is 10x plus 15, or 55.